It must be a national effort. They've sent the army and heavy machinery, but we need to recycle and get rid of this stuff now.
In humans, protein must be broken down into amino acids, starches into simple sugars, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. The water in our food and drink is also absorbed into the bloodstream to provide the body with the fluid it needs. How digestion works. The digestive system is made up of the alimentary canal, also called the digestive tract, and the other abdominal organs that play a part in digestion, such as the liver and pancreas. The alimentary canal is the long tube of organs, including the esophagus, stomach, and intestines, that runs from the mouth to the anus. An adult's digestive tract is about 30 feet, about 9 meters, long. Digestion begins in the mouth, well before food reaches the stomach. When we see, smell, taste, or even imagine a tasty meal, our salivary glands, which are located under the tongue and near the lower jaw, begin producing saliva. This flow of saliva is set in motion by a brain reflex that's triggered when we sense food or think about eating. In response to this sensory stimulation, the brain sends impulses through the nerves that control the salivary glands, telling them to prepare for a meal. As the teeth tear and chop the food, saliva moistens it for easy swallowing. A digestive enzyme called amylase, which is found in saliva, starts to break down some of the carbohydrates, starches and sugars, in the food even before it leaves the mouth. Swallowing, which is accomplished by muscle movements in the tongue and mouth, moves the food into the throat, or pharynx. The pharynx, a passageway for food and air, is about 5 inches, 12.7 centimeters, long. A flexible flap of tissue called the epiglottis reflexively closes over the windpipe when we swallow to prevent choking. From the throat, food travels down a muscular tube in the chest called the esophagus. Waves of muscle contractions called peristalsis force food down through the esophagus to the stomach. A person normally isn't aware of the movements of the esophagus, stomach, and intestine that take place as food passes through the digestive tract. At the end of the esophagus, a muscular ring or valve called a sphincter allows food to enter the stomach and then squeezes shut to keep food or fluid from flowing back up into the esophagus. The stomach muscles churn and mix the food with acids and enzymes, breaking it into much smaller, digestible pieces. An acidic environment is needed for the digestion that takes place in the stomach. Glands in the stomach lining produce about 3 quarts, 2.8 liters, of these digestive juices each day. Most substances in the food we eat need further digestion and must travel into the intestine before being absorbed. When it's empty, an adult's stomach has a volume of 1/5 of a cup, 1.6 fluid ounces, but it can expand to hold more than 8 cups, 64 fluid ounces, of food after a large meal. Role of the intestines. By the time food is ready to leave the stomach, it has been processed into a thick liquid called chyme. A walnut-sized muscular valve at the outlet of the stomach called the pylorus keeps chyme in the stomach until it reaches the right consistency to pass into the small intestine. Chyme is then squirted down into the small intestine, where digestion of food continues so the body can absorb the nutrients into the bloodstream. The small intestine is made up of 3 parts. 1. The duodenum, the C-shaped first part. 2. The jejunum, the coiled midsection. 3. The ileum, the final section that leads into the large intestine. The inner wall of the small intestine is covered with millions of microscopic, finger-like projections called villi. The villi are the vehicles through which nutrients can be absorbed into the body. The liver, located under the ribcage in the right upper part of the abdomen, the gallbladder, hidden just below the liver, and the pancreas, beneath the stomach, are not part of the alimentary canal, but these organs are essential to digestion. The liver produces bile, which helps the body absorb fat. Bile is stored in the gallbladder until it is needed. The pancreas produces enzymes that help digest proteins. fats, and carbs. It also makes a substance that neutralizes stomach acid. These enzymes and bile travel through special channels, called ducts, directly into the small intestine, where they help to break down food.